Hi, friends. This is a recording for Chapter 4, Lesson 4, which can be found in your textbook on page 141. So you're going to try the anchor task, as we always do, on our dry erase board. If you're finding that there's not enough room on your dry erase board, you can definitely use the math journal. So go ahead and try that. If you didn't try it already, you can pause this video now and try it, and then unpause it to see how we work through it, okay? All right, so this lesson is called multiplying two-digit numbers with regrouping. So regrouping, looking at place value and seeing that if there's more than 9, we look at the next place value column, which is the tens, and so on. And what do we do with those numbers? So we do that. We've done that with addition and subtraction, and now it's time for multiplication. Let's see what this is all about. So the anchor task has two friends, and they are at a table with 3 cups. And this friend says, I am figuring out 3 times 12. And this friend said, well, can we also figure out 3 times 18? So down over here, now I crossed out the word story because I think the word method is something that we've been using, because when they're talking about story here, they're really just wanting you to show using numbers and answering using numbers and equations. So I thought method would be a better word. So what is a good method for 3 times 12? Okay, so for this one, we're going to scroll down and look at carefully what they did. So I'm going to use my dry erase board to show you also. So again, the question is, I'm figuring out 3 times 12, and this friend is saying, can we also figure out 3 times 18? So we're really trying to answer two questions, okay? So for number one, the one way is they said, okay, let's take 3 times 12, and they used cubes to kind of show you groups of 12, right? And you can see that they've broken it into 10 and 2. So if you look at this section right here, it shows you 10 plus 2, that's 12, right? That's one group of 12. Here's another group of 12 and a third group of 12. So we have 3 times 12. We need to understand what the factors mean, right? This is 3 groups of 12. When we write that, when you see that, really, really important. Now, what they've done also is use number bonds. Remember, number bonds are ways to decompose. Decompose means to break down a factor when it looks too big. In this case, you might say, I don't really know what 3 times 12 is, but I'm going to look at the 12 because it's a bigger number, right? Big number. And I'm going to break that down. And again, think of all the ways that you can make 12, this time using just 2 numbers, right? You can use 10 plus 2. You can use 5 plus 7, so many ways. So in this case, the example that they're showing is that you can decompose, you can break down 12 using 10 and 2. So I'm going to break it down using 10 and 2. Okay, now what do we do with these numbers? That's where some students get stuck. Don't get stuck. So here's what we do. We take the 10 and we multiply it by the 3, right? We take the 2 and we multiply it by the 3. So I'm going to draw an arrow right over here, and you're going to see what I write over here is what I just said. 3 times 10 and 3 times 2. So 3 times 10, right? 3 times 2. Basically just writing what is on the book. I just wanted you to see like how they decided to come up with these equations, where they got these numbers from. So now we know 3 times 2, and the answer down over here is 6. And then they wrote 3 times 10 is 30. What do you think we do next? We add these together, 30 plus 6. So we can say, and you can see this equation right over here, we can say that 3 times 12, right, is the same thing as 30 plus 6. And that's where they got the 30 plus 6 from on the screen, right over here. You can see it. 30 plus 6, okay, which is what? 36. You can see that right over here. Okay, so that's one way to do it. So let's take a look at the next page. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. And now this is the second question. Again, let's use the same strategy, but now we have a different factor. We're no longer multiplying by 12. We're multiplying by 18. So let's do 3 times 18. Okay, now you might say, I don't know my 18 times table. That's kind of tricky. Well, guess what? You can use Again, number bonds. You see the number bonds here? Again, this is really important over here. You might have used base 10 blocks, right? And that's great. They broke it down. Here you see 10 plus 8. Now, these are orange because what they want you to do is to remember that you did one group of 12 over here in the previous problem. So in order to make 18, how many do you need to add more? 6, right? So you can see the 6 cubes here. They wanted to show you that if you can do 3 times 12, right, you can work through 3 times 18. All you have to do is really add in one group. You're just adding 6 more. Okay, so let's take a look. They use number bonds again, and this time they use 10 plus 8. 10 tends to be a pretty popular 10 plus another number tends to be pretty popular because 10 is an easy number to work with. It's friendly, right? So we have 10 plus 8. Again, it makes 18. Don't forget, don't get stuck. Now what do we do with this number? We multiply it by 3, right? So over here, we do 3 times 10. That's where they're getting the 3 times 10. And over here, you can see that they did 3 times 8. Okay, 3 times 8 is 24. If you have to look at your multiplication chart, that's okay. Our goal by the end of 3rd grade is to have this memorized. Okay, so 3 times 10 is 30. Okay, now what do? We add them. That is why down over here under the blocks, you can see that they have written 30 plus 24. Now, if you can't do 30 plus 24 mentally, that's okay, because I know that you can go off to this side, right? And you're going to line it up. And actually, this is not a bad idea to just check, right? Sometimes we might rush and think we've done it, but checking is always a good idea. 0 plus 4 is 4. 30 plus 20 is 50. So you get 54, right? And that's where they get the 54, if you take a look, okay? 30 and 24 make 54. Okay, so if I go down, I'm just going to zoom out a little. This method down over here, I'm not going to do this on the dry erase board. This is just saying, hey, you know what? Another way to make 18 is using 12 and 6. Same strategy. 3 times 12 is 36. 3 times 6 is 18. Add them together. This you might need to kind of go off and definitely use the standard column addition, and you get 54. Same answer. Okay, so that is what we are looking at. Now, for guided practice, you'll see that I've kind of circled this. Okay, you're only doing the ones that I've circled. Okay, if you want to do extra practice, definitely go back and look at these problems and try them on your own. I'm only giving you these 3 right now just for time, in case you feel like you're running out of time. If you feel like you've done with C in each problem, right? 1C, 2C, and 3, go ahead and try the other ones, because we're trying to get better and better. And one of the things that I want to share with you is that if you are someone that is using only one strategy, like let's say you're someone that's only using repeated addition, I would really like you to try using number bonds. And the reason I say that is in other lessons, you're going to start seeing them a lot more, right? So start using number bonds and showing the equation. Okay, I hope this helps. You can play this video over and over again until you get it. If you need to pause, definitely pause it in certain places and rewind and go back and look at it. Okay, bye. Thank you for being such hard workers, and I miss you. Bye.